in Canada and around the world. We think this is in tension with the objective of what we have here today. What we want is to advance climate justice. What we want is to reduce emissions. Yet what we're seeing right now is the pursuit of a final frontier of oil and gas in the Arctic. 90 billion barrels of oil, 1,600 cubic trillion feet of natural gas. We can see that corporations we know well, BP, many others, pursuing this oil and gas that ironically now is becoming available because of the effects of climate change, because transportation systems are opening up, and because ice is melting. Profit is not a reason to pursue oil and gas in the Arctic. That is unacceptable. We know what the risks of offshore drilling are. We know what will happen. We know if this gets pursued in the Arctic, the risk is that much higher. We don't have access to what we need in the Arctic to deal with this spill. There are communities that are dependent on the land. There are communities that are already suffering the impacts disproportionately of climate change, which is warming at twice the rate of the rest of the world. Why now would we pursue oil and gas in the Arctic? We feel that this is something that should be discussed here. If we're serious about addressing the climate crisis, if we want to make a difference, we need to start talking about real solutions